My name is Miss Bryce. I'm Deputy Faculty Leader for Humanities, and I'm also a history teacher at Cotham School. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Year 10 history. I'll be giving you some information about the content that's covered, how students are assessed, and what support we offer both in school and resources that can be used out of school in order to support students in their independent learning. Just to give you an introduction to the GCSE history course, it's an incredibly interesting and engaging subject. Through the study of the past, Year 10 students will help gain an insight into how and why people live the way they do today. Throughout Year 10, students will develop vital key skills such as problem solving, analysis of evidence, empathy and teamwork. They will learn to become critical thinkers who are able to evaluate, analyse and interpret past events. What content will students learn in Year 10? Well, there are going to be two papers that students will sit at the end of Year 11, and we teach topics from the papers in an order which goes one topic from paper one. So we start off by learning about Germany from 1890 to 1945, and then we look at Restoration England from 1660 to 1685. And this is great because it gives students a real variety of what they study in Year 10. They start off with looking at European history from the end of the 19th century going into the 20th century. They think about the Weimar government, how Germany was affected by World War I, the impact of the Wall Street crash on Germany and how this helped the rise of the extremist parties, in particular the Nazis. They look at the growth of Hitler and how he got into power, and finally what it was like to live in Germany under the Nazis. We then have the British Depth Study, which is looking at Charles II being restored as King of England after we had a period of Oliver Cromwell ruling England as Lord Protector. And again, this is a really fascinating course where students will learn about the difficulties that Charles II faced when he returned as king. They'll learn about what it was like to live in Restoration England, what was happening in England in terms of England's foreign relations. And finally, they will be given an opportunity to complete a depth study looking at a historic environment from Restoration England. How is the course assessed and when are the assessments? So each unit will have assessment points where students will answer exam questions. The assessment points are placed at strategic points throughout the time that the course is being taught. So approximately every 6 lessons, there will be an assessment point, and each of these assessment points will be a different exam question. There will be 3 assessment points for Germany and 3 assessment points for Restoration England. So by the time students have completed their study of Germany and their study of Restoration England, they will have answered every question in an exam paper for those 2 particular units. In term 6 of their Year 10 history studies, there will be a Year 10 mock, and that will be on the Germany unit. At the end of Year 11, there will be 2 2-hour exams, and each exam will be worth 50% of students' final grade. There is no coursework in history at GCSE anymore. What type of homework will be set? So all homework will be set on Google Classroom. There'll be a range of homework which will test both content and skills. So students may be required to revise a particular content, or they may be asked to do an exam question which is testing a particular skill. In the build-up to a mock exam or an assessment, students will be asked to create revision resources to help go over key content to make sure that they are as fully prepared as they can be for that particular assessment. How are students supported on the course? Well, history offers a huge range of support for students, and one particular resource which I think is incredibly important is the Humanities School Weebly. All resources and lessons have been uploaded on the Humanities School Weebly. So if students miss a lesson, or if they just want to go over something, they can go online, find the lesson that they were working on, and have a look through it, have a look through the resources. An absolutely vital resource, and we really, really encourage students to use those as much as possible. In the library, they can access all the textbooks that we use in lessons. And also we have the online textbook Caboodle. So again, students are encouraged, if they're not sure about a particular thing that we go over in the lesson, to look at Caboodle and to remind themselves or to go over this particular content. On the Humanities Weebly, there are past papers and examiners' reports to help prepare for any assessment points. But also, if they'd like to practice to answer any exam questions when they feel they've got a bit of extra time. There are student technique guides created for all 4 units. And again, these will have in them key questions, checklists, key content, and also all of the past papers. So another really excellent resource to help students prepare, not just for assessment points, but also for their final exam. If there are some students that feel like they really want to challenge themselves, if they're aiming for a grade 8 or a grade 9, there are activities on our AIM tab on the History VLE. And this AIM tab contains podcasts and also articles which students can read and podcasts they can listen to, which will help deepen and develop their understanding of the particular topics that we study. Other ways that students are supported: before each mock exam, there will be a revision schedule created and provided for each student. And this will be a week-by-week, step-by-step guide of what students need to revise and what resources they need to show their teacher to prove that they have completed this revision. And we found that this has been incredibly effective in supporting students in ensuring that they don't leave all of their revision to the last minute. In the History Office, we have revision guides which are available for £2.50 each. So there is a revision guide for the Germany unit and a revision guide for the Cold War. There are also GCSE podcasts created for the entirety of the AQA History GCSE course that we cover. Really, really excellent resource which will benefit students if they are more visual learners. Again, another really excellent resource is BBC Bitesize for self-testing, as is Seneca, another self-quizzing website which students can use. So how is progress monitored on the course? Well, students are internally assessed through in-class assessment points. All assessments are taken from past exam papers and are marked using AQA-specific mark schemes. We will also have a Year 10 mock at the end of the year, which again will be marked using the AQA mark scheme, and then we will use the grade boundaries that particular of the year that particular paper came from. I hope this has been informative. I hope that you now have a better understanding on how the content that your students will cover in Year 10 History and how they will be assessed. And if you do have any further questions, then please feel free to email me. Just a reminder, my name is Miss Bryce. Thank you very much.